night up. A lot of shit that I hold down. It's time that I bring right up. I'ma get rich, and I'ma live it right up. Just a lot of shit that I hold down. Hey, I'ma bring it right up.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Health and Hustle Podcast. This is episode number 15. On today's episode, we have two sweet topics. We got certifications and entrepreneurial endeavors. So we'll get right into those after a little intro. So Cory, how you doing today, man?
Good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. I'm a little tired. Actually, I worked a lot today, which has been a switch up for the past couple of weeks. So, but it feels good. Made a little bit of money, so I'm feeling good today.
What kind of stuff did you get into? You able to talk about it?
Yeah, it's nothing flashy. It was literally I was doing yard work.
Dude, I mean that's cool though. That's part of the hustle. That's part of the grind.
No, yeah, just helping some family members out and stuff, and felt good. Felt good to get outside, even though it was like 95 today. So.
Yeah, you don't get to, especially like apartment living, whether it be dorm or college, or even where I'm at right now, like city apartment living. You really don't have any reason to go outside. I mean, I love going outside, but I'm never out there because I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, other than sit out there, and if you've got shit to do, whether it be on the computer and stuff, you really don't have a reason to. So when you are back home, like when I go back home to see family, like I'm outside doing shit all the time, and whether it be working or washing vehicles or just hanging out, like it's just so much different.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I haven't been doing some actual sports medicine stuff too, so I'm not just chilling, planting flowers and everything, but I'm working on getting a treatment table for my basement, so I can start shooting some cool videos with that, because I really want to get into like actually doing videos on actual athletic training stuff for athletic trainers. So, how to diagnose injuries, special tests, manual muscle testing, palpation, those types of things. So I want to get into that soon, and then I'm getting the stuff ready for. I got an article that should be in the near future on Stack.com, Stack Media, which is a pretty big website and magazine. So that they got like, I don't know, I think it's like 10 million readers, subscribers every month. So it should be pretty cool. And still doing the max effort stuff, and so I'm staying busy. I'm doing stuff with sports medicine. So it's like I talked about last week, just trying to kind of learn the ropes of not being on the road all the time. So.
Dude, that's awesome though. That once you get that table in your basement, that'll be huge for content and getting stuff out to people. A ton of people I've talked to have been telling me like how much they're learning from the stuff you've been doing, whether it be articles or even a 60-second Instagram video, dude. It's really helpful to people. I mean, I know it's been helpful to me, so I can't imagine how much it's helping people. Keep grinding, and eventually one of this shit's gonna pop. So. I mean, I know you know more than anybody. Just keep getting after it, even though it doesn't maybe feel like you're accomplishing a ton right now. It's all building up, and it's eventually gonna take off.
Yeah, man, it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. So I'm just trying to, like I said, figure everything out, and just want to start getting a lot of content out. It's just kind of hard because I'm trying to do it all on my own. So I don't really have anybody helping me out. So, but it's cool. It's part of the grind. So.
Yeah, it's fun.
So what's going on with you, man? How's the stuff with the apparel and everything going?
It's going really well. Finally, since last time we talked on here, finally got all of the initial orders out. I think last week when we talked, I hadn't picked them up yet. I think I was bitching about the print shop slowing me down. So I got all of the orders from the print shop last, was it Wednesday? Picked them up at like 6 o'clock in the evening, came home. I had to drive an hour one way to pick them up, came back home, packed them all up and shipped them out, and I went to bed at like 12:30 that night, like 12:30 a.m. on Thursday. So spent a good amount of time getting everything packed up and sent out, because it was the initial pre-order. So now, there was, I think we mailed out like 60-some orders, multiple items, packed up like 20 orders to take to the gym to deliver. I mean, there was a lot of volume. It was pretty cool, though, like to kind of take a step back. I took some pictures and stuff. just to kind of see all of the like hoodies and t-shirts and tanks like just spread out all over the apartment. It was kind of a cool feeling to actually see it all come to life. 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think it was probably beginning to mid-May. This wasn't even an idea. Like, this all happened on accident. So to see how much has transpired in a month to where now, which we'll get into it, I think, in a little bit of detail here in a minute, but now I've got a full working system in place on my website to where I literally don't have to do anything start to finish other than package it and ship it. It's self-sufficient from someone going to the website, ordering it, the payments going through, the shipping labels going, like, now there's systems in place to where when we started this shit, literally people were sending me direct messages to my Instagram account like, hey, I want a shirt, so it's definitely been stressful, mainly because of the timelines with the wedding.
Yeah.
Had it not been for that, it would have not been nearly as stressful, I think, but it's just all been a huge learning experience that, will take so much away from down the road.
Yeah, that's awesome. For you guys listening who haven't bought any of this stuff yet, the hoodies are awesome, the t-shirts are awesome, and then I bought Emily is it Racerback or Razorback?
It's called Racerback, and it's a freaking tank top. I didn't know that there was like different kinds, but it's Racer, Racer back, and I guess it's like the style of the cut or something. I didn't know until I got into all this, but yeah, that was just part of the learning thing. Jess always thought it was called Razorback, and she kind of chuckled when she found out what it was really called. But yeah, it's definitely called Racerback, but hell, you can call it whatever you want. I don't care. It's a tank top.
Yeah, man. Well, I got her that, and she loves it. She wore it the first day I brought it home. So if you guys haven't had a chance to look at that stuff, check it out. The material's super soft, and it's a plain design, but I mean that's really all you need. It's a really cool line. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, please do that. He's got something special going on there. And before we get into our first topic, Cory, real quick, you all set for this weekend?
Dude, I'm pumped. I literally today was my last day of work. I don't go back to work until June 30th or something. I have to go back to work on a Friday, which is kind of stupid, but it's just the way it worked out. No big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'll be off work the next 2 weeks. We've got everything ready to go. So all the planning, all of the last minute whatever's done. But now we're just doing list after list because it's not just the wedding. We have to get ready for the wedding and packed up for the wedding, and we're traveling for that. But then after that, we're going to the honeymoon. So we're going straight from, we got a day in between, but we're going from the wedding to the honeymoon, which we're going to the Caribbean.
It's awesome.
So we got to have all our shit packed for that. So it's really just checking off list after list just to make sure I don't forget anything. But yeah, dude, it's starting to get exciting. I don't ever sleep as it is, but Jess is having some trouble sleeping, and I would say it's excitedness, but I really think it's more just frazzled, spazzing out.
Stress, yeah.
Is this gonna work? 'Cause, she's put a lot of time and effort into it. Obviously, way more than I have. I've been there and supported and helped in places that I needed to.
Yeah.
But she's really put a lot of time and effort into it, and I think it's going to turn out great. It's going to be really awesome. I'm really excited for you guys to be there. The guys from the gym are coming. Obviously, everyone from back home and all my friends and family are going to be there. I don't even know how many people have been asking me. I have no clue. That's the kind of shit that I didn't care about and didn't want to know. But it should be a good time, dude. So, yeah, we'll talk next week and we'll see what happens. I do party. People probably don't know that listen to this. I used to party really hard, and I still do on occasion. It just doesn't take me near as much to get there anymore. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. We got our hotel booked yesterday, and I know Emily's excited to come down, so I'm ready to clown a little bit.
Yeah, man, it'll be a good time for sure. For
sure. All right, man, let's get on the first topic. So it's kind of going back into your whole apparel line, but we're going to try to make it just a general topic. But I see a lot of people that you and me follow on social media and stuff, getting into launching some apparel lines or doing a T-shirt or something for their personal brand, which is something I'm actually going to get going here soon. But I think it'll be cool to talk about the whole process today, and maybe just kind of give some insight on the ins and outs of maybe things that people don't think about going into it or don't know, and then some of the things that maybe you would change if you could go back.
Yeah, I think this would be cool to talk about. We've been touching on it off and on for the last few weeks, and now that it's officially kind of launched, I guess you could say, I really haven't been saying like launching or starting a line because I didn't really anticipate this being a line. But now that it's actually official, I mean, shit, it's on the website, and I've been sending out orders. I mean, I woke up to 2 orders that people had placed while I was sleeping last night, so we kind of talked about that model of online business, making money while you're sleeping, which is everybody's ultimate goal in entrepreneurship type stuff. So I think that this is a good time to get into it because it's super fresh, it's happening, and that's why we're here. That's why we're on the podcast to talk about this stuff as it's happening and kind of bring everybody along with us and teach them as we're learning. So I think this is probably the perfect opportunity to talk about it.
Sweet, man. Yeah, so, I mean, just getting into it, I mean, I kind of know why you got into it, and I'm sure most people do, but just kind of maybe to spark some ideas for other people, what actually made you decide go from, well, I like this hashtag, like I kind of like what this stands for. What kind of made you take that and then transition into, oh, well, maybe, I can kind of spread the word and get some people some apparel, maybe make some money too? Like what was that transitioning point for you?
Dude, so this has been transpiring since like January, I think it was. And if you don't know, the hashtag is FWYH. It's an acronym for fuck what you heard. I did not invent that saying. Obviously, it's been around forever. We talked about how it's been in rap songs since like the 80s or 90s. But in January, a couple of the guys from the gym, we were all standing around talking, and I don't even remember the conversation that happened. But we were talking about the stigma that's placed on people, whether it be gym or whatever it may be, of people basically talking shit they don't really know or haven't experienced it, or maybe they're saying something and they think they're in it, but they're really not in it, or just there's so many different faces to it. And we were all sitting around talking, and somebody said something about fuck what you heard, and I was just like, dude, that's gonna be a thing. Like I don't fucking care. That's gonna be a thing. We're running with it. Well, that was in January. So in January, I started like right up front on every single Instagram post. I literally would put hashtag, but I was spelling it out because I wanted people to know. Mm-hmm. I was writing hashtag fuck what you heard on every single post. If you go back to my Instagram in January, it's there. Right up front, can't miss it. All my other hashtags are down below, right? And at the time, this wasn't in my intentions at all, but I did that for months. And then I started having people like mention me in their comments, and they were hashtagging it, and they were saying it too. And I kind of got to thinking, and I was like, this really means something to people. And when I first started saying it, it was more of like, I'm tired of you people, questioning what I'm doing, telling me what I'm doing isn't work, telling me what I'm doing I can't do because I've been doing it for years, mm-hmm. So it was more of a like, this was my way of saying like fuck you, I'm tired of listening to your shit. The reason I said it was because for years and years and years, I've always felt like I needed to explain myself to people. I always felt like I needed to defend myself to people. And I finally got to a point to where I said, you know what, I don't need to explain myself to you anymore. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's your problem. That's not my problem. And it kind of got to the point to where this was my way of saying, I don't answer to you. I don't care what you think about me. I'm going to do me type thing. And the reason I hashtagged it and said it so much, some people think it's because I'm an asshole, and some people don't like it because it does have the F word in it, obviously. But this was my way of actually telling me, like, teaching me, like, Cory, you don't have to care about what people think about you. Like, everybody says it, like, don't care what other people think about you and this and that. But do you really mean it? Like, I've said it for years. I don't care what people think about me, and I'm doing me, and I only care about myself. Like, but I didn't mean it. Like, honestly, deep down, I cared what people thought about me, and most people do. But this was my way of, like, in a sense, faking it till I make it. Like, I was just talking myself into not caring. And over time, it literally worked. Like, I said it so much. Like, if you say something so much that you eventually start to believe it, I said it to myself so much that I finally truly embodied it and started to believe it, and it started to work. Well, then when other people started mentioning me and tagging me in their posts, I started realizing, okay, this means something to other people too. But I didn't really think anything of it. And then fast forward to May, and I was in a bad mood. I'd had a bad couple weeks at the gym, a bad couple weeks of training myself personally. Just wasn't clicking, felt off. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't figure it out. And I literally one day I was just super pissed off, like in a bad mood. And I called a t-shirt shop and I said, can you, and people may or may not know this about me, I've been wearing my hoodies and sweatpants and shit inside out for forever. And that's a whole other story. But I called a t-shirt shop and I said, can you print letters, like a logo on the inside of a hoodie? And they didn't understand what I meant. And I explained it to them. And they're like, well, yeah, we can do it. It's just going to look like shit. I was like, I don't care what it looks like. So I went and I had it done. And I said, I'm going to wear this on my chest, like, as another way of a next level of embodying this mindset of, like, I don't fucking care what you think about me. I'm going to do me. Like, that's what I need to do to progress, is I need to quit worrying about the outside world. And I did it. And it was literally just a statement for myself. Like, I did this to prove a point to myself, not to prove a point to anybody else. And I posted the picture. And next thing I know, I got like 5 or 6 DMs within an hour in Instagram. Dude, where'd you get that shirt? Dude, where can I find that shirt? Hey, man, when did you get that shirt made? And I was just like, fuck. Like, I think we're onto something.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like how it started. I had zero intentions of selling this. It wasn't like I was like, hey, I'm going to start an apparel line. It was literally, I did this on accident for myself, and people wanted it, and then I gave it to them.
Okay, cool. So you had that, and you kind of saw that it could become something. And obviously you have your website, corecarpfit.com. So when you set that up, because me having my own website, I know a little bit about how you go about doing the basic setup. Did you have like a commerce section already in your website, or did you have to go back and actually like make that, or what?
Yeah, I went in on the back end and had that shop built in my website. I've had my website since January. Not very many people know it's there because I don't put a lot on it, because it's more of a landing page just for my training. But I went back in and had that shop built and programmed with all of that apparel. And looking at the analytics, the amount of traffic my website has gotten since I've put that on there is astronomical. But yeah, I did not have that built. I didn't even have that built until a week, like 3 days after I started the pre-sale, which is a pretty cool story. I started the pre-sale on a Sunday, actually, and on Tuesday I had that shop built and put on my website, like within, like that.
That's awesome. So I'm just kind of gonna fire questions at you just because I'm curious, and I know a lot of. That'd be cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people are too. So you figured out where to sell it at, and then from there, like, did you already have a distributor, or did you have to find somebody who, like, you know what I mean? How'd you go about doing that?
Dude, I started taking pre-sales. I didn't know where I was going to get it printed. I didn't know how much it was going to cost me. I didn't know when I was going to be able to get it. I started taking pre-sales on a weekend. The print shop wasn't open on the weekend. They opened on Monday. So I posted the first picture on a Thursday probably. By Friday, I decided I was going to do this. Saturday, the people that messaged me asking me for it, I messaged them back saying, I'm working on getting them made right now, just to give you a heads up it's coming, because I don't want them to go somewhere else and get it. Because it boiled down to this. Like I said, I didn't have any intentions of starting an apparel line, but if there's a need in the marketplace, everyone always says if there's a need in the marketplace and you can fill it, that's when you have a good product.
Yeah. There
may not be a need for this in the marketplace, but apparently there is to some people because they're asking me for it.
Yeah.
So I recognized the need, and then I had zero options but to fill it, and I didn't have any time to think about it either. So I messaged those guys on Saturday, told them I was getting it made. Don't worry about it. I'll hook you up. on Sunday, I made my pre-sale live on Instagram. And like I said, my whole pre-sale was based off of an Instagram direct message. I didn't have this thing built yet. So the first 40 orders I took was directly through Instagram. So you don't have to have a website. This just makes it easier for people to get. Yeah. Because, I mean, you and I both know if it, like, like humans are impulse buyers, and if they can go right into my website, click buy, knock it out, you're much more likely to have the sale than if they have to direct message me with what they want. I have to direct message them back and say, what's your email address? What's your PayPal? What's your shipping address? Like, that's just way too much back and forth.
So is that what you were doing at the beginning? Like somebody would DM me and you just write it down?
Yeah, dude. So my initial pre-sale, when I put the post up on Instagram that said, hey, pre-sale is live, blah, 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 people would direct message me their name, the item they wanted and the size, their email address, and their shipping address. Okay. And then I would respond back and say, yo, thanks, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to send you a PayPal invoice, and then you will be able to fill out the PayPal invoice, and that's how you will pay me. PayPal, obviously, everybody knows you can send and receive money. There's a feature on PayPal, which I didn't know at the time. I had to learn this. It's called invoicing, and you go there, and I can send you an invoice if I input your information, and I can literally fill out like the product, item description, the size, how much it costs, tax, shipping, everything. I put all that in there and send it to you. And then you can go in once you receive it and fill it out, put in your credit card information and everything. And then it basically, even if you don't have a PayPal account, it will send that money to my PayPal. Mm-hmm. And then once I receive the money and I get the products, I go back into that invoice and I can fill that invoice, and I can print the shipping label directly from PayPal. I can do everything literally directly from that PayPal invoice. So it is very, very easy to use, but the back and forth between the customer in the beginning with the direct messaging is not sustainable long term, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've used the PayPal invoice thing a few times with like some of my personal training clients, and it's very cool. It makes things super easy. Did you use that before? Obviously, do you still use it now, or is there something built in your website through whoever's servicing your site, or do they do that now for you? Like, how does that?
I don't use PayPal anymore. I could have used PayPal Business for my website, but there is a software. It's called Stripe, Stripe. It's like a processing company or processing software, like similar to PayPal. PayPal, you have to pay per month for a business account. Okay. This Stripe that I have integrated into my website is a small fee per transaction. Okay. So it's very, very minimal. And if I don't sell, I don't get charged for it. Okay. And it's built in on the back end, so no one even sees it. It's kind of just like the processor. Like if you were at Amazon and you went to your shopping cart, like Stripe is like the company that handles all of you putting in your credit card information type stuff. Because like I don't obviously see any of that information. That's all handled through the online stuff. So if you go to my website now, you will buy products just like you're on any other online website, and it's all handled through the software. Is called Stripe, and it's is it free or is there like a one-time fee to buy it? But like I said, it's per transaction fee, so it's not monthly. So I do not use PayPal anymore. I have a PayPal account, obviously. Yeah. So if someone wants to PayPal me money, that's fine. But like as far as shipping and everything, shipping and handling is all done through Stripe.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So kind of backtracking a little bit because I was curious about this. So the guy that I'm going to do apparel with, I just talked to yesterday. He just sent me out a sample hat and sample T-shirt. You said, well, let me rephrase this. So he just sent me out those because I want to kind of see what the products are going to look like before I get them sent out, and they'll be back and forth until I get what I want, and then I'll maybe do a preset, whatever. You didn't have any of that before, right? You just had your hoodie printed inside out.
The very first thing I ever did was I took a hoodie that I already owned to a shop that I did not use for my final sales. Mm-hmm. I just took it to the first shop I could find that would print on it, and had them print that on the inside out. That's the one you see in the initial pictures. So I knew, and I mean, my logo is super simple. I know, you know, you can picture it. Yeah. But like you, I wanted to know, I wanted to feel the shirts. I wanted to make sure I was getting the right color, the right feel, the right fit. So I went to this same shop and had probably 3 or 4 different samples made with just iron-ons, to where they just iron it on, you know, not like actual printing with ink. I had 3 or 4 of them done before I ever sent any out, because I didn't want to put in a big order if it wasn't what I liked. And it took me almost 3 trips to get the right like dimensions, like as far as width, height, thickness of the letters. I had to go back a couple times and get that changed. But yes, so I did do the samples. I did make sure I got the right shirt that I wanted in terms of feel and quality and fit and everything. So yeah, I did do the same thing you did. I went there and basically said, hey, this is what I want, do it. And then after I looked at it and saw it, that's when I ordered. So I did that with it. Once I found what I wanted, I called a different company that I actually went through for my orders, and gave them all of the specs, the dimensions, and everything I wanted. Gave them the information and had them print them. Okay,
cool, man. So yeah, because I didn't know if that would scare me if I was gonna put in a big order like you did without seeing a few samples. But that makes sense. That's cool. All right, Cory. So kind of wrapping things up with this topic, let's touch on real quick. What was your biggest challenge kind of going throughout this whole process? And then if you had one piece of advice for somebody thinking about doing something like this, what would it be?
I'd say my number one challenge was navigating and dealing with like print shops and vendors. So I would say if you are going to do any type of apparel line, do your homework up front. It'll save you an immense amount of time. There are websites you can get on that where basically where the t-shirt print shop buys their clothes from. And whether it be Next Level, Bella Canvas, Gildan, Jerseys, whatever it is, it's basically like a department store full of apparel brands. So you can get on there and you can look at the apparel and look at the make and whether it's a tri-blend or it's a dual blend, 50-50 cotton polyester. Like the t-shirts we use are a tri-blend. It's a 50% polyester, 25% cotton, 25% rayon. You can figure all that out, get your color schemes and everything in place, and have your product numbers already written down and known. That way when you call or email or order your apparel with your company, you're saving a lot of the legwork that they're going to do, because it takes a lot of time for these people to get back to you. It's a lot of back and forth, a lot of hurry up and wait. So the more info you have up front for them, the quicker it will be. Try to think of any questions they might ask, answer them questions before they even ask them. So that would be my biggest piece of advice, is everything you can think of up front, have ready and prepared and already just give it to them before they ask you, because it's just going to save a lot of back and forth.
Cool, man. I had some good advice. Definitely I'm going to take as well. So I appreciate all that.
Yes, sir. If you have any questions, anybody ever has any questions, hit me up. I mean, I know I didn't touch on really probably a lot of the important stuff I should have. I'm not really sure. It's just hard for me to rattle it off. But if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. I know a couple of people have already asked me about the T-shirts I've used. I mean, like I said, any questions at all, let me know. I've learned a ton over the last couple of weeks. I still have no idea what the hell I'm doing, but that's what makes it fun. But I definitely have learned a lot and have a lot of just a little bit I've done. I have a lot of a little bit of experience and knowledge that I could help if anybody has any questions.
Cool, man. Cool. So yeah, let's get to our next topic real quick, and we'll just kind of briefly run through a few of these things. So we're going to talk about certifications, and I guess the main reason we're kind of tying this into the health topic is, so many people are looking for so many different things, whether it's, looking better, getting stronger, getting bigger, any types of things, recovering from an injury, those types of things. So I think it'll be cool to kind of run through some of the certifications because there's so many acronyms and letters running around, behind people's names, or if you're looking for some kind of personal trainer or anything, you see all kinds of letters, and it may be confusing for some people. So I think this would be a cool thing to get into real quick. So I think the first thing, since we're kind of going along the lines of what we talk about all the time, personal training. So Cory, I know you're obviously an ACE personal trainer. Do you have any cookbook definitions for what a personal trainer is, or anything along those lines, or maybe describe what you do real quick?
Yeah, so I am certified through ACE. It's ACE. It's the American Council on Exercise. That's just one of several certified bodies there are for personal training, and it's basically just what it is it's a series of courses that you take, and you take a test that says that you have a basic understanding and knowledge of exercise and physiology, that you can safely train an individual to help them reach their fitness goals. Maybe an easy way to explain it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. I was a little bit bored earlier. I just Googled, what some common definitions of a personal trainer are, and it says somebody who possesses the knowledge, skills, and abilities necessary to design safe and effective fitness programs, and they instruct and assist people in reaching personal health and fitness goals. So I think that's kind of spot on what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I want to stress is that, and I don't know that it's exactly, the exact terminology you would find, but a certification basically says that you have, a basic understanding, a basic knowledge base. It means you know enough to do it safely. That doesn't mean you know everything. And certifications, people get hung up on them, whether they mean anything or not. I think depending on who you talk to, they might say a certification is important or not. I got the certification, to be completely honest with you, because the general public wants to see a certification. They want to see the letters after your name. And I learned way more from all of my years in the gym and around people in the gym in terms of the fitness knowledge I've gained than I did learn through these courses. Granted, I did learn a lot through them, but just because you have a certification in terms of personal training does not mean you are a better personal trainer than someone maybe that doesn't even have a certification.
Yeah, so obviously the ACE is one of the most reputable and most recognized personal training certifications across the board. I mean, that's what you see a lot of people have. I know there's a couple other ones that I won't get into really because I don't know enough about them too. But the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM has one. The NSCA, the National Strength and Conditioning Association, has one. And then the American College of Sports Medicine, the ACSM, has one. And Cory, if you can talk about it real quick. I know these all have, you have to buy an exam, study for it, possibly take courses for it, and obviously pass the exam to get the certification. So if you just real quick, because you're very familiar with it, can you run through how how that kind of goes?
Yeah, the ACE is all online based. I purchased the program up front. Obviously, they have different package options, and it really just relates to what you want. Do you want all of the study modules? Do you want the extra video tutorials? Do you want an extra handbook? Different things in terms of how much you want to pay up front. The ACE is one of the more expensive ones. I will say that. It's probably in the top 3 recognized in the country. If you guys are thinking about getting a certification in personal training, I'm not going to say one's better than the other. I mean, there are some that are higher up or more popular or more credentialed than others. The main thing I'll say is just make sure you get one that's nationally recognized. There are some that aren't recognized everywhere throughout the country, so you just want to make sure you at least get one that is nationally recognized at all facilities. The ACE, like I said, I bought the program up front. It was a series of modules, and you worked your way through 2 different books. There was one that was strictly geared towards the anatomy, and then there was the other that was more of your general, like you would expect, fitness and programming and different things. And you worked your way through the book. There was questions at the end of each chapter, just standard school shit you would expect. There were video modules, and then there was quizzes online on each chapter also. When you finished the book, there was a couple different practice quizzes and mock registries you could take. You scheduled the test at your leisure. You had like a window that you had to do it in. You had to get a certain score on the test to pass it. I mean, just all your standard stuff you would expect with a certification. I will say it's all at your own pace, so you could rush through it and get it done as fast as you want. You could take more time with it and learn more. It's really up to you. It took me about 3 months to complete the whole program, though.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know it took that long. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I did, like I said, I did do this, like I said, just like everything else, I did this on top of my full-time job, and I was already training clients at the time, and I was also preparing for Muscle Beach. So, I mean, I didn't do anything crazy for Muscle Beach, but I did do a little bit ahead. I tried to approach that as if I was doing the shoot, even though I wasn't, so I put in some more extra time on myself for that. So I did do this, like, basically I did it in my spare time. I probably could have shaved a month off, but I just didn't really feel the need. I really just wanted to make sure I knew it enough to pass the test.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know, because I think it's important that people, if they're looking to get one of these certifications, that it is nationally recognized, because there are some of the ones you can get real quick. You know, you can do a weekend course or whatever and get certified as a personal trainer, but then that doesn't get you anywhere. You just wasted $500. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing that's really good about ACE is it's if you get on their website, I don't know, it's like acefitness.org. I don't remember what it's called, but it's very, very professional website. They do have where you can write articles and submit articles. They have like their own like portal where people can go in and like search for personal trainers through ACE. There is CEs. I have to complete like 24 CEs every 2 years.
Okay.
So you're continually learning and having to show that you have that continued knowledge and you're not just stopping. So I mean, it is very, very structured. It's very like a professional organization. They take it very seriously. So I mean, I like I said, I don't have any experience with other ones, but I guess from the outside looking in, it is very professional and it's very serious, and it's not something that they kind of just like blow off.
Yeah, cool, man, cool. So, just glossing over a few more, because I do want to talk about a little bit of physical therapy and athletic training, just because I'm a little bit more biased in those areas, but I think there's some cool things I can kind of clear up for some people, hopefully. So we have a couple others are the corrective exercise specialist and performance enhancement specialist. So the corrective exercise specialist is somebody who is trained in they specialize in identifying muscle imbalances or deficiencies, decreased flexibility, lack of core joint stability, those types of things. And really those are geared towards almost injury prevention. So these people are, I mean, obviously, like a lot of athletic trainers get a CES because it kind of correlates with what we do. But obviously, a lot of PTs do it as well. A physical therapist, I'm sure I know a couple of personal trainers who have it. So I mean, it's something it kind of goes hand in hand with fitness, but they kind of specialize in that certain area of flexibility, mobility. Like I said, muscle imbalances and muscle deficiency as well. So the performance enhancement specialist is somebody who obviously they specialize in making athletes or whoever perform better. So these are people, if you're looking to get this certification, it's more for if you're working in like the Bo Jackson Institute, if you're going to work it's specifically for sports enhancement or, one of those hit places, the high intensity training places. Those are the types of things where you're only looking for people to get bigger, faster, stronger, maybe not more for, putting up big numbers in the gym, but just be more functionally strong, functionally agile, those types of things. The certified strength and conditioning specialist of CSCS. This is for somebody who would be, that's like a strength coach. So that's somebody who's going to be in charge of a whole team, making them bigger, faster, stronger. Maybe not as functional as a PES, but getting weight room strong, squatting a lot of weight, but hopefully making that relatable to on-field activities. So those are the other types of things. As far as maybe performance enhancement, more like fitness. And then I did want to talk about athletic trainers and physical therapists as well, too. So basically these are both sports medicine professionals. And obviously, me being an athletic trainer, I know more about what we do than physical therapists, but I think that there's a lot of people who mix up kind of the things that we're responsible for. So athletic trainers, they encompass and they're responsible for prevention, examination, diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of acute or chronic injuries or any kind of medical conditions, because like we're obviously the first line of defense if somebody gets injured or something happens, in the acute setting. The cool thing, and because a lot of people get us mixed up with personal trainers, and that's nothing against personal trainers. It's just a lot of different education, a lot of different things as far as specialties go along with those two things. Because a lot of people could just call us trainers. So personal trainers, you call them trainers. People call us trainers. It just kind of gets everything jumbled up. So that's one of the things I've talked about this before on the podcast. But one of the cool things that with athletic training is, we're so multi-skilled in so many different settings. So we can work in schools, we can work in hospitals, military, outpatient, inpatient. It's kind of across the board. Working in industrial workplaces, and we can work in fitness centers as well too. So, and what we have to do to get certified is you have to get a 4-year degree, have at least a bachelor's, and they're actually moving towards a master's now. So in a few years you'll have to have a master's. It'll be mandatory for athletic trainers. You have to have 800 hours of clinical observation in the workplace, and then after you get the 800 hours, then you have to sit for the board of certification exam, and then after you get all that, then you have to get licensed through whatever state you're in, because like states have different licensure. So that's kind of a little bit of a rundown of what we do. Does that make sense, Cory?
Yeah, I mean, just hearing all of the stuff it takes to become an athletic trainer in comparison to that I said it took me 2 to 3 months is enough to tell you the difference right there.
Well, I mean, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to compare at all. Just they're different things, but I mean, it's obviously something you can take as a major in college. So I mean, it's a little bit longer, obviously, but yeah, that's one of the things. Like when football players used to come up to me and like, hey, well, you're a trainer, so like, are you a personal trainer? I was like, no, not necessarily, but it's one of those things you just try to keep telling them. So, and then with physical therapists, they tend to make a lot more money than athletic trainers, and the big reason for that is they're both allied healthcare professions, but physical therapists are required. It's mandatory for them to get a doctorate, so they have to go 3 years of postgrad to get their doctor of physical therapy. So they have more schooling. They're obviously very highly educated, and they're licensed healthcare professionals who reduce the risk of injury. Reduce pain and then improve or restore mobility through long-term rehabilitation processes. And then they also sometimes can avoid surgeries, and obviously after surgeries they're there for extended period of times as well. But one of their goals now, and they're kind of pushing, is to use that kind of medicinal exercise instead of using opioids or pain medication. We're trying to get people away from that quick fix type thing. So that's something they do a really good job at. They also have they have to sit for a national state administered exam after they graduate with a doctorate. So even if they graduate with a doctorate, they still have to pass that exam to actually become a licensed physical therapist. So it's very, very time intensive. I had the pleasure of working with a few of them in the anatomy lab and stuff, and they work super hard at what they do. They just specialize with rehab more so than athletic trainers do, because we specialize in other areas on top of rehab. So they're just in the rehab setting. That makes sense?
Yeah, dude, that was a really good explanation of both, and I think it was good just to get to the point of, like I said, about certifications and just a little bit of the difference between personal or AT or PT. They're all very vast and different. They all have their specializations. But I just think a big emphasis to make is the difference in a knowledge base between a PT and an AT, and PT being personal trainer and an athletic trainer. I am a personal trainer, but I will be the first to tell you I don't believe a personal training certificate would make you a good personal trainer. But if you want to be an athletic trainer, I don't think you could be one without the certification. I look at an athletic trainer as a medical profession, like a medical professional, you know what I mean, in terms of the health and knowledge and like medical care given base, and a personal trainer really, is mainly geared towards programming and exercise.
Yeah, man, I think it's cool. Like I said, I never like to make comparisons. I just want to get the information out there so people know the differences between the two. Because our profession, we're trying to kind of rebrand ourselves because so many people see us as more as, just like a sport profession, whereas we're trying to become more seen, because we are an allied health profession. We're trying to become seen more as a medical profession instead of, just being like on the sideline for a sporting event and kind of just being there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I've learned a lot more about it since we've started doing this podcast. So I think there's definitely is a need there for some awareness, but I think it's heading in the right direction.
Cool, man. Yeah, so wrapping this up, guys, I think the main goal of this, and I think Cory did a lot of talking. I apologize today, but he gave us a really good idea of obviously all the business stuff he's doing. Gave us an awesome explanation of the ACE personal trainer certification, and then kind of wrapping it up, I talked a little bit about the athletic training and physical therapy. But if you guys are looking for somebody to help you become bigger, faster, stronger, to look better, lift more weight, recover from an injury, that type of thing, injury prevention, just do some research on the people that you should be seeking out, and make sure you're getting the help from the correct people and not just doing whoever maybe has the best abs or has the most followers on Instagram. Make sure that they are empathetic towards what you want and they're true and original to what you want to get out of it. So
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing I've learned over the last year, is that just because someone has a six-pack on Instagram doesn't mean they're a good personal trainer. Mm-hmm. It means they're good at following their diet. Like, yeah. You don't have to have a knowledge base to have abs.
Exactly. Cool, man.
Cool, brother.
All right, guys. Well, we'll get you out of here. Make sure you guys leave us a comment, leave a rating. Let us know what you think. Keep the feedback coming. We got a couple sweet comments on iTunes, and we just want to know what you guys think. So keep in contact with us.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right, peace.
Peace.
I'ma get rich. Cause niggas living like a. I said time to hold shit down. But they gon' fuck the night up. Right up, pipe up, pipes up, Skypes up, skies up. I see stars that